Hello friends, today's video will be trying something. I think in most of my videos I was doing the so-called full tang knives, which is, here I have some glued ones, which means that blade or the stock runs all the way through the blade, through the handle, and this results is in the strongest possible construction of the blade. So there is no gaps. Now I always want to try something new, and to be honest, the handles done in the so-called hidden tang. Why it's hidden? Because it's smaller and it's hidden inside. Simple. But this kind of handles, in my opinion, gives much greater opportunity for creativity, let's say, because you can put all these various things together. Now, I kept the stock as it is because it's easier for me to put it flat on the surface when I'm working on the handle. But this, in reality, it's something that I'm used to do. So, shaping the blade shouldn't be a big issue. The biggest issue that I have is, you can see this time I decided to use the antler and some pieces of leather and G10 in between. So if I succeed, the look of this should be really beautiful, but how to do it, it's a little bit of challenge. Why? You can imagine if I glue this up, and then shape it, for sure I will hit the guard, and I want the guard also, I want to darken the guard also. So if I hit it while grinding, of course I will scratch it. So what I need to do is somehow glue this up to make the leather and G10 stick to the antler, take it off, shape it, and then of course, finish the finger guard, darken it, make the blade, and once everything is done, just glue it together and not touch anything else. So how to put this thing together strong enough that I can take it off and work on the grinder. The thing is, if you just glue this up together, you go to the grinder, it will typically just knock it off, because the surface where it sticks together, it's not enough. And also how to put it to be aligned with this part, it's also a question. So let's go. What I will try to do now is, this you will not be able to see, so I will do my stuff with the telephone. I'm not sure if you can see. You can imagine the leather, it is a material that you can squeeze together under pressure, so not like doing this, but applying a little bit more force. So you can see that the hole that I made, it's offset a little bit. I don't know if that's the correct term. And what I will try to do now is make a pin that will be in the shape of the point and go into the 6mm that I usually do. And once I hammer it through, should push the stag up, squeeze this, and make a really firm bond. So let's go and try to do that. First, I need to do the pin. Not sure how much you will hear me, but here it is. One side, I will just make a round part, and this side, I will make it thinner, so it will push through the center of that hole. And it has to be thin to catch the hole, because you know it is offsetted. So it's relatively simple thing. Let me know if there is a problem with understanding. So this is just so it goes through the hole, because if it would be the full, you know, the hole is offsetted, so it will not pass. This part will be, and as I hammer it, it will just push the stag up, where I'm counting on plus, how do you call that, the plasticity of the leather. So the leather should be able, so this is harder, and this will not be, you know, this will be, it's harder, so it will go through, and the leather is softer, so it will squeeze to allow this to pass through the hole. So I hope it makes sense. One thing that I realized is, if the edge here is very hard, as this is steel, even though it's not hardened, it could, and this is brass. Brass is typically much softer, so it could, you know, cut into the brass as I hammer it, and it will not pass through. So I will just use a big drill bit to knock off the edge here and allow the passage. I hope that works. Let's see. It was a very simple process. Simple to do what I mentioned, but if that will work, we will see. Now, what we will do, you can imagine, I said we will glue it together and take it off, so it has to be temporary. In order not to stick to the steel, you know, all these small parts, I will put some, what is it called? The lard, or the beef tallow, actually, that I have, I will put on this. I mean, people use Vaseline or whatever. I don't have that, so I will use what I have. The idea here is, you know, to work with what you have. So let's go. Let's see how this recording works. Beef tallow, and simply put it all over the parts that I don't want to stick. And yeah, just use plenty of that, and I hope it works. I did try this before, and it worked, but you know how it is with this stuff. I'm never 100% sure. When you want the glue to stick, you will have a hard time. When you don't want it to stick, it will stick. So I'm joking. It should work, I hope. I will not use too much glue. So this is one part. I'll just put it to sit here. I also don't want this to stick to anything, so plenty of this stuff. And you can imagine this is very easily cleaned. By the way, beef tallow, it's not something that it's difficult to get, so I make my own rendering, so you can check it out on in my other videos. There is a video on rendering the beef tallow, because this is one thing I used also to make pemmican. So if you are interested in that kind of stuff, check it out. So you can see plenty of stuff, so should be okay. Now we go and mix some glue, and then we hope for the best. it would be so-called hope strategy. G10 we will sand a little bit, because this stuff is really smooth, so I'm not sure it will stick. And now I just got a brilliant idea of putting some small holes into this part, which will allow the glue to pass through and connect between the layers, which in theory should make the bond stronger. I'm saying in theory, I will not record this, so this will be a small drill bit, but I think it's 2.5 millimeters or something, and I will just quickly drill through that. I will show you the end result. This could really be... I tried these things a couple of times, and unfortunately it turns out always with the small issues here and there. So let's hope this could be a really nice solution, because I'm always trying to find a simple solution. You know, you can complicate and make complex stuff, but that's always, you know, increasing the cost of the knife, everything, by not giving the, you know, new owners any added value. So try to make it simple and available. So you can see, very simple holes. And what I will do later on probably is also do the guide pins. Yeah, I think that is the name that is typically used. Once this is glued together, I will probably just drill the holes and put some pins through it and glue those pins, so that should even make the bond even stronger. Let's see how that goes. I'm not sure if you're seeing that. I put the camera on desk and just leaned it against the bottle. The GoPro is quite nice, but it's not always good, especially when you want to show the details. If I bring the stuff close, it will tend to, you know, to show it blurred. So this one, I hope it will be better. Now I'm guessing I put too much of this stuff, but anyway, let's see how it plays. So this is here. I will clean up the G10 a little bit additionally with a acetone. As I said, if I would put this on, glue it and leave it, there should be no problems. But as I want to do this, you know, temporary gluing, then it becomes a little bit of a challenge. This will not be enough typically to hold it together after I take it off and shape it, because there are two things. Even though if I go light on the pressure, and we will start putting it immediately on. even if I go light with it, so you can see already it's coming out, which is good. It will connect much better. What I was saying is, I don't know what I was saying. If I would press lightly on the sand on the belt when I shape it, it will take forever, you know, or I will just burn through the stuff. But if I push too hard, it will probably knock this off. So I don't want this to happen. Now, I don't want to put too much of the glue on the handle, so I will just put it like this. Anyway, the what's it called, the parts where the different materials will come together, I will sand them. So here we are. What I need to do, just to make sure, is put some tallow on our pin also. So this could be twofold: help squeeze through and also not stick. So here it is, and now keep your fingers crossed that this will succeed, because then I found solution. I want to have a general solution for that. I don't want to think about it always when I'm making a knife. So I will just move this now to or I can try. You can maybe see the angle. So I assume the point already entered. So let's see. Ha! You can see? The idea works. Now, the one part that we are waiting for is if we will be able to take it off. But you remember the offset? You can see the pin is basically through completely. And you can see maybe the angle of the pin. It's right as it should be, okay? Maybe there is a slight difference, but just means that everything was squeezed up and the bond will be quite firm. I'm not sure if I should wipe this, not to put it anywhere, but I will do nonetheless, especially here around the stag. I don't want this to be here, so I'll just take off the excess glue, and then I will wipe it with acetone. So that's that. I think I've put enough lard to prevent it to stick, so I'm pretty sure we will be able to knock the pin out. And that will happen, I don't know, probably after 24 hours. I use epoxy 24 hours one, or let's call it long curing, because it gives really strong bonds. So I was trying it. I was trying to work with it after 12 hours, as it is in the instructions of the manufacturer, but I don't have a good feeling about that. It felt like it could be stronger. I should wait a little bit longer. So here we are. I think will be quite nice when I sand this off, shape, make a pass. This could be really nice one. Here I will use the baking soda with the super glue to fill the holes. And also, when I do my final gluing, I will really put a lot of glue inside so it will be full. It will also add weight a little bit to the back. I like my knife to sit in hand, you know, and then just feels like an extension of my arm as a tool. Yeah, that's it. It will be a straight clip shape with hamon. If this works out nice, I think it will be really, really cool knife. But let's see how it works. Fast forward 24 hours. Glue is rock solid. Yesterday evening when I tried it, it has dried, but it was still what's it called? It was still a bit, you know, flexible, so I didn't like it. Now I have a little bit of dilemma. You know, now everything is fixed, so if I grind off the rough shape, at least now, it should be much easier, but I will hit the pin. Then on the other side, it's a relatively small price to pay. So I'll just go to the grinder, see if I can shape it. I don't like it. I don't have that much control. So what I will try to do now is knock the pin out. I'm not sure which side to do it because here is flat. So I'm typically using this kind of, you know, puncher. Yeah, I'll go with that side. Not So the good news is pin is passing through. I'll just put a bit of leather here. I think, yeah. So you can see pin is practically all the way through. And now the moment of truth. What I'll do. I'll fix it and I'll just use a piece of, well, I can use this piece of stag as this lying here. Here it is. Now I'll go to the grinder, shape it, and then we will see. You can see now that it will be much easier to access everything. So it looks like it really worked well. You can see nothing happened. I finished it. You can see it's uneven because also the stag is uneven. So I tried to follow the stag and the shape of the finger guard. now, of course, need to shape the blade. Full of grease. Need to shape the blade. Put on some clay for the jamon, heat treat, and then assemble. And what I like about this, I was just thinking, is that now most of the stuff is done. With my full tang knives, when I do the wood handle, for example, after I glue everything, I still have to shape and do all that kind of stuff. With this one, all that, once I glue it, the knife will be finished. So, yay. Final result. What I did, and I didn't show, is after, I temporarily glued, took it off. Remember, the pin was offsetted a little bit, so I had to hammer it. After I took it out, you can imagine this was pressed together and the offset was mostly lost. So, and I wanted to have the offset, so I have not just glue holding everything together, but also the mechanical pressure of the pin pushing the handle into the finger guard. So what I did is put a small piece of leather, very thin leather, here between, so the offset reappeared. So that's very simple. So this handle now is glued completely, but also this pin is pushing it up because the base hole was smaller. So it's now pushing it up, and it adds to the strength of the handle. So there you go. I hope this helped.